We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. By the time you hear this, it's Tuesday. However, we are recording it on Monday night, and we've had some interesting guests as of late. We're going to do a live at some point this week, but tonight we've got two guests, two motherfucking goofballs. One more of a goofball than the others. Trucker's a goofball. TJ, fucking TJ. TJ is one of the moderators on TikTok. He's one of the people on the panel all the time. So is Trucker with the lives. So we thought we'd bring them both to the Rational Boomer podcast right here and see what the fuck happens. So, I've been watching the news all day like I always do. And that's the one nice thing about this. If I come to the podcast and I get people like you folks, ain't no problem coming up with shit to talk about. Fucked up shit, weird shit, crazy shit. How have you guys been feeling looking at the news today?
Well, today I can tell you I felt gracious because right before I came on, a federal judge blocked Trump's deportation of those Haitians so he can kick rocks trying to go into Springfield, Ohio and removing them for now.
For now.
Yep.
How about you, TJ? What's been up your ass today?
Well, I had to laugh because Trump went on his little tangent on Truth Social saying how he's vindicated in the Epstein files, and then he blamed it on Bill Clinton, and I laughed my fucking ass off because that's totally a departure from the truth in every way. I mean, come on, man. How can these people be that naive that they're going to believe this shit? I mean,
he comes out and says, the Epstein files that came out, I'm totally absolved.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I don't know if it's just him gaslighting or he doesn't pay attention and the people around him going, "Oh, Donnie, you're fucking cool. You're cool." What do you think it is?
I think that's a good point because I don't think that he actually knows because he doesn't fucking read anything, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So all of his sycophants that are up there in the White House, Caroline Leavitt and Stephen Miller and, Scott Bessent and all these motherfuckers, they're all saying, "Oh, Donnie, you're good. Like, you're good. Like, this exonerates you and it's all Bill Clinton and it's all Bill Gates." And I don't think he actually really knows. He's never read any of it to know that this is damning evidence against him. He has no fucking clue. That's the take I have on it, because how could you have such blatant, horrific things being said about you and then just get on your platform and say, "Hey, I'm exonerated from all this shit." And you know what? This 3 million file release is bullshit, right? This isn't even the bad shit. Like, what they gave us was just, the scraps.
Right.
And the co-conspirators were redacted in the web photo. You guys probably saw it, where it has Ghislaine Maxwell, had Jeffrey Epstein, and some like small players in the whole ring. But it's obvious with the redaction of that Donald Trump's a kingpin in the whole fucking operation.
He is.
Yeah.
And but he's surrounded by sycophants that's going to constantly tell him, "Sir, you're good. You're good, sir. You have nothing to worry about."
And he believes it. He believes it because he's a dumb fuck, number one. And number two, he doesn't read fucking anything. He doesn't even read the briefings that he's given every single day from national security.
Here's what I know about narcissists. They will believe anything that they agree with. And then they will try to rationalize out why it's correct. And for him to come out and say, "I'm totally absolved by this thing," this is, absolutely ridiculous, because some of the most horrific things we've seen have come out in this. When Donald Trump is asked about it now, he tries to back away from it. I think Donald Trump is really shaken by this particular release, in spite of the fact it's not what it's supposed to be. You got everybody at the Grammys talking shit about him. You got Republicans coming out talking shit about him. Things are starting to break down. Now, I will say this. The DOJ has broken many laws when it comes to the Epstein files. They haven't released them all. That's against the files. They're redacting shit. But they did something where they broke a law that may come back to haunt them. In these files, there are pictures of nude women, presumably girls, underage girls. Now, regardless of who puts something out like that, that is distributing child porn. I mean,
Right,
if a 15-year-old girl takes a picture of herself and sends it to somebody else, that's illegal.
right.
So this is certainly illegal, and they did nothing to redact it. They did nothing at all. So it goes back to what I've always said. Donald Trump and the Trump administration, no matter what they do, no matter how smart they think they always fuck up.
Well,
They always fuck up.
I think that that's purposeful, and the reason
You
why
think
I
so?
think that is because they want it to be such a shit show. They're purposefully not redacting those things so that the thing gets shut down, right?
Huh.
That's their plan. That's what I think their plan is.
Could
Because
be.
because if you put out images like that, obviously that's not for public consumption, right? And it's like you said, a crime. So if they can create that kind of shitstorm, then they'll say, "Oh no, we can't release anything else because we had these problems and we can't." That's what they're trying to do because they
I
don't
know.
want to release that back end of 3 million files. They don't want to
Yeah.
release because that's the worst of the worst, right?
Right.
So that's their game plan right now is to make it a shitstorm. So they say, "Oh, we can't. We need more time. We can't release this. We have to do more redactions because of the photos of the young girls." That they're trying to kick that football down the field further, and I don't think the American people are going to fucking buy that. Honestly, I
No.
mean it's
No.
it's a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, so Todd Blanche says that there are so many files and not enough people to review them, so mistakes will happen. He said, but eventually we'll eventually we'll get the files out. So I don't know, right? I mean, the guy's a shithead. Every last one of them are not very intelligent, put it that way. And he was his personal attorney, for God's sakes. And how many trials have Donald Trump lost? He loses damn near all of them.
Everyone.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I put nothing anything good on that guy. So I just don't think that I think it's incompetence. That's just what I think.
I think
It
it's
might be, but
incompetence. I think what TJ is saying is true, but I think there's another factor in here, and it's right in line with how Donald Trump and the Trump administration do things. It's intimidation and it's bullying. By putting those girls' names out there, they put them at risk, and they're going to
right.
get pressure from all these people that love Donald Trump and don't like the fact that these women are coming forward. So I think it's a way to put pressure on those women to shut up
This-
about it
Yeah,
because this is how they've always done business.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's intimidation and bullying to silence them, and
Right.
that's
Right.
and that's why they willfully not redacted some of those victims' names. You mean to fucking tell me you had 1,000 FBI agents going through this shit, redacting this stuff, and they're so stupid that they couldn't figure out how to redact these names? It was a willful and purposeful non-redaction to make sure that Trump fucked with these people. They're gonna dox them. They're gonna, send them death threats because this goes against their Lord and Savior, Donald fucking Trump.
Now, that I believe, because there was one lady in the files who they called John Doe forever. Well, up until 2 days ago, because they
Right.
released her name, and she says for all these years she's fought to stay Jane Doe rather, and now her name is out there in the public, and she's pissed.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. This is not, I don't believe that it was, you know, an oversight. I think it was willful.
Well, that part of it, I didn't think you were going there, but yeah, to dox him, to get
To
his
dox
minions
them.
out there, yeah.
Right,
I,
exactly. Because they want to intimidate these witnesses because if they do that and these people get death threats or some of them get harmed,
and they
it's going
go,
to further intimidate other witnesses to not come out and tell the truth. But even still, that happened, these women signed on to a letter and said, "Hey, this is bullshit. This stuff happened, and there needs to be more discretion on what's going on with this stuff." So I
right.
don't think I don't think that all of them are going to be deterred by that like they think they will.
And this is Donald Trump's one and only strategy. You either give my son some kind of deal with a bunch of money, or I'm going to put tariffs on you.
Right.
You either hand over the uh, voter rolls, or we're going to um, invade your city. I mean, this is how he does business, and this is very mafioso like. I just wanted to bring something up. You know, they've been contemplating and pushing and threatening to get Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify in front of Congress, the Oversight Committee, and they're
Hmm.
saying, let's do it in public, and they're saying no, and then they're saying, well, release all the files, and then we'll sit down and talk to you. We understand. I understand now that they're allegedly coming close to a deal with Bill and Hillary Clinton in terms of testifying. Now, what I'm thinking about this, Bill might be complicit in all this shit, and it wouldn't surprise me, and I don't fucking care.
Exactly.
But I'm
Right.
thinking to myself, what do Bill um, and Hillary have over Donald Trump and the Oversight Committee? They're way smarter than those motherfuckers, and they're
Right.
probably even more shadier, more gangster. I
Yeah.
think that if you ask Bill and Hillary Clinton to show up and talk, you may be sorry for what you asked for, because
Well,
this is going to be an opportunity, especially for Hillary, to say, well, I know this about Trump, and turn it all into a fucking Trump thing.
right. Well,
Wouldn't be surprised by that.
that's why they told them to fuck themselves when they wanted them to come testify in private. They
Right.
said, we'll come, but it's got to be a public hearing." Right?
Yep. But they don't want to do that.
They
Well,
don't want
Congress.
no, they don't want that smoke.
No, they don't want that smoke because Hillary, I mean, she traps him. She was one of the only ones that really got underneath his skin. And especially now that the gloves are off, she has nothing to gain and she's got absolutely nothing to lose because she wasn't mentioned. Old sleazy Bill was. Well,
Yeah.
whatever, fuck him. So she can take all her gloves off and go at him.
Right. Well,
She,
probably the
she
worst thing that could happen to Donald Trump is a woman embarrassing him. That's
Yes.
the worst. I mean, I'm being realistic. I know it sounds funny, but like, he doesn't like to be embarrassed as it is. But when it's a woman, that probably digs him. He probably stays up for 3 days straight on Adderall because he's so fucked up that a woman embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Honest to God, that's probably true.
100% agreed with that.
and Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump is kind of spiraling on this situation because he's getting asked the question a lot. He's getting very shaky about it. And he said, I didn't know him that well. I didn't even like him. Uh, Yet in these files that were released, his name shows up 5,300 times out of 3 million documents. Uh, and
Well,
it goes back to what you were talking about and what I've said all along. Donald Trump just wasn't a customer.
No,
Uh,
no.
he was a
he's
kingpin.
he's a kingpin. He's a partner in this whole thing, and I think that's one of the things that he's most concerned about. What we heard, what we saw in these files, and I've said this 100 times. They said there's no evidence that he did anything wrong. True, but there are witnesses of people who say he did something wrong. I'm not saying you put him in court and convict him based on what we know now, but this would all certainly justify some investigation, a
Exactly.
grand jury indictment, but there has been none over decades. So there's where the problem is.
Right.
Well,
Well,
you
the problem with this is with that is this is that there's nothing that that's been released so far that they could indict him with because it's alleged, right? But we have 3 million files that they're holding on to that they're not giving to the public.
bingo.
So, like I said, whatever they're holding back is the worst of the worst, which could lead to criminality.
Why do you think he wants to sue Michael Wolff now? Remember,
Yeah.
He won't though. I guarantee he won't.
he won't
He
sue
got
anybody
fucked.
who's talking about this because Discovery.
Melania wanted to sue Michael Wolff, and he threw it back in her face and fucked her up because
Yeah,
he said, "Okay, I'll sue you. Now let's get Discovery.
right.
Right.
Maybe we won't do this."
Yeah, and all of a sudden it went away, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and the same with the other guy, uh, the billionaire dude that he was trying to sue. Remember early in the summer they were going back and forth trying to sue each other. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch. Yeah,
yeah.
they were suing each other. And Rupert was like, "Okay, bring it."
Well,
And then
well,
all of a sudden it went away.
well, think about this though. Think about this. Donald Trump loves suing everyone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's suing the IRS. He's suing this motherfucker and this motherfucker. But you know what's interesting about the whole thing is that Elon Musk went out on social media and said Donald Trump's in the Epstein files. But Donald Trump said fucking nothing about it.
Not one word.
Right.
He didn't say, I'm going to sue you for defamation. He's, any of that because he fucking knows it. Right?
Well, and the funny thing about Elon said he wouldn't go to Jeffrey Epstein's island. And then instead, what we find out, he's writing emails begging to go to the island, and Jeffrey Epstein doesn't like him, treating him like a redheaded stepchild, and basically blows him off.
Right.
So it's just like Donald Trump. I wouldn't go there. No, you wouldn't, because they didn't want you there, you creepy motherfucker.
Right. Well, when you're a douchebag that has no friends, I mean, you get desperate to,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, his daughter is Elon's daughter is backing up the claim. Says no, that was him, and this is that time, and here's the proof that I have. Because they don't like each other for some. Well, I know why. Because
Well, she's trans too.
right, exactly. So she says no, Dad's lying, and I'll tell you the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The thing about it is Todd Blanche comes out and he tries to play this game and it didn't work. He says, well, we put the 3 million out, the other 3 million, we can't by law put them out. So investigation is done. We're done. And I think he thought that people would say, okay, cool. We got them all. Thanks, Todd.
No.
That just made it worse for them. They want those other 3 million worse than they did before.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. These guys are so incompetent, such fuck ups, that they just make it worse for them every time. And this is why I enjoy see them doing things like this. People say, "Oh my God, they're holding them back." Please hold them back. I want to see people get really worked up, and then. You talk about suing people. That's Donald Trump's bullying strategy. I'm going to sue you. And you're supposed to go, oh my God, Donald Trump's suing me. I'm terrified. Rupert Murdoch wasn't terrified.
Well,
Grammys last night, he says, I'm going to
Trevor Noah.
sue Trevor Noah. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
yeah.
And then, the whole thing with Don Lemon. It's we're going to sue Don Lemon because he did this or did that, none of which was true. And Don Lemon, he's not scared because he knows he's going to win. And you know what else? What Donald Trump did, he's going to blow up Don Lemon even more. He's got over 1 million people on YouTube. By the end of the month, he'll probably have 2 fucking million people.
Exactly.
Exactly. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys probably watched it, but that press conference with Todd Blanche was very telling. Okay.
Very.
And the language that he used was very specific. And he used that language to dodge the questions, right?
Yeah.
So when they asked him about, the girls being harmed, and then he changed it to women, right?
Yeah, he sure did.
To try to, push away from the idea that it was minors.
Right. And he also wanted to know what does abuse mean.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we know, right? I think every half-witted person in this fucking country knows what SA is, right?
Yeah, he says, so when you were talking about abuse, now what do you mean by abuse? He's
I'll
like,
give you an example. I'll give you an example. In those emails, there's the situation where Donald Trump had his calendar girl party, and he's measuring parts on underage girls and checking tightness on underage girls. That sounds like abuse to me. So, Todd, please expand on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that would measure up to the level of abuse for sure.
Right.
I mean, it's just I can't believe like how even if you were a dumb Trump-la-fuck, right? Think about this. If you were sitting there watching that, how could you walk away from that and say, I believe this guy?
You can't, because you know why? I'll tell you
Yeah,
why.
that's what I'm saying.
Because inside those files was a picture, and this picture disgusts me to no fucking end, of Epstein just kind of grabbing rocks, and it was like a 2-year-old with some blue sandals, yellow dress, and or yellow shirt and a blue dress. She couldn't have been any more than 2 years old. So to think about all of that shit and to see that picture, like I threw up in my stomach. And then tonight he says, well, contrary to popular belief, it's not against the law to party at Epstein's Island. That's his new thing. I heard that right before we got on.
Who said that? Trump?
No, Todd Blanche.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
on Fox News, he was telling that one lady, weird lady that looks like Shapiro, but she's not, with the glasses.
I can't think of
Yeah.
her name either, but I know who you mean.
You know exactly. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
telling her, contrary to popular belief, it's
Well,
not.
then
He said,
there's-
now if they were doing something wrong, it's different.
Well, then there's that's the whole point here. But then there's the other picture of Prince Andrew, who sounds like a creepy motherfucker from the word go. He's on all fours, and there's
hmm
the torso and lower portion of it looked like a smaller person, so it could have been an underage girl. But you have to wonder what the context of that picture is. And here's the thing that troubles me about this whole thing. We're waiting for files to be released and pictures to be released. There are people out there that already have seen these pictures and they
Right.
haven't said anything. Give you an example. The Oversight Committee, I've heard people say, oh, we got some horrible pictures. Well, release the motherfuckers, redact them and release them, but they haven't. The royal family in England, they've got to have seen some things because they were going after Prince Andrew well before any of this stuff came out. They
Exactly.
knew what was to come and
Yep.
they acted proactively. Uh, so there are people out here that know what we want to know, but they're still holding it back. And as much as they're appalled by it, I hold them responsible too.
Yep.
I think that Donald Trump is going to hold these back as long and as hard as he can, but once he's gone, it's going to be, and TJ can relate to this. It would be like a waste main breaking of sewage from this shit.
Yeah, absolutely, it will be. And we're every day that passes, we're moving closer and closer to that. And you're right, the royal family knew to get out in front of this now and wipe him out because
Yep.
the sooner they do that, the less fallout they're going to get.
Well, TJ, they had another one that they took off the Knight's Court today. I forget. I'm not really sure what his name is, but they stripped him of his title. They took him off the court. All of that stuff. So they're not fucking around.
Right. And don't you think it's stupid? I mean, really, don't you think it's stupid for Todd Blanche to say it's not illegal to party on Epstein's Island? Everybody fucking knows what happened there.
Yes.
It's not a fucking secret. It's not like, hey, they had a big party and one chick got a freaking date rape drug and then they date rape, like whatever. Like, that's not
Right.
what went on there at all.
No,
like,
no.
every motherfucker knows what went on there. Like, that's the dumbest fucking comment you could ever make. Like, yeah, of course it's not illegal to party fucking anywhere, but it is illegal to assault underage girls. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, the state of Indiana says if I break into your house and commit murder,
You better not, motherfucker.
well, just anybody, right? Everybody who's with me is going down for that.
Right.
Exactly.
Regardless of whether they had anything to do with it or not. If we came together, they had intent, right?
Right.
So that's no different than partying at fucking Epstein's nasty, dirty ass island.
I agree with you on that, but there is one caveat about it. I agree that there's people that went there with bad intentions, but I also believe that there's probably some people that went there that in the 90s and shit, they didn't really know. You know what I mean? There's probably a small number of people that went there and went, what the fuck?
Well, maybe early 90s, but after
Right,
it got
yeah,
out, yeah.
But later on, the word got out. If it, like, in the early 90s, probably some people went there and said, I don't want any fucking part of this, right?
Right.
But, like, later on, the word got out, and then it became a thing, right?
Right.
Everybody knew what was happening in that place,
Well, the telling
And-
the telling thing would be if you went there and you didn't know. Okay, you no doubt heard the stories, and there had to be a draw for you to go there. Say you didn't know, but if you went
Right.
back,
Right.
Yes.
your innocence is fucking gone because you knew what was going on. And if you knew and you participated and helped perpetuate this, you're as guilty as anybody that did anything.
Right, but it would stand to reason, just based upon the enormous amount of information there is about this thing, is
Hmm.
that in those files, there's probably witnesses who testified that went there that had nothing to do with anything, but they were so appalled about what happened, they were, state's evidence about what happened down on that island.
Right.
That just stands to reason. I mean, there's just so much information. There's probably people in the beginning that went there and said, "Hey, hey, hey, I don't. No, I'm not doing this." Right?
Yeah, there was a guy that had a sworn affidavit, um, who worked in the kitchen or something. Yeah, so I get it.
Right. Exactly.
He's like, hey, this is I'm under oath. Here's a sworn affidavit. This is what I saw. This is what I heard, and I got up out of there.
Well,
And I
then
got
there's
big.
Howard.
Go
There's
ahead, Mike.
Howard Lutnick.
That's
Howard
fucking
Not
Lutnick,
Nick.
who Old
horrible.
Soul refers to as Nutlick, which seems more appropriate. But he was interviewed and he talked about Jeffrey Epstein. He probably said more than he should. He said, I was a neighbor of Jeffrey Epstein's and it got very weird and I just stayed away from him after a while. Then there's an email that he's emailing Jeffrey Epstein saying, "Hey, when's the next party? I want to come to the next party."
Right.
So sorry to say, if you're a fan of Nutlick, he's a lying motherfucker.
Yeah, he tried to say his wife told him you can never go be in the same room with that disgusting man again. And that was in 2008, 2012. Hey, let's let bygones be bygones, and where the girls at?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Did you guys find it weird that in a lot of those photos that came out, it was a lot of guys that were asleep, like either sleep or drugged or something allegedly, but they were all knocked out.
That seems to be the case with that whole scene. In fact, there's one comment in there where, or one of the witnesses or one of the victims said something about where she was in a room and she was given something to drink and she was pretty much knocked out, but she wasn't completely knocked out. And Donald Trump comes in and says, "Did you give her the stuff so she's asleep and doesn't know who's here and all that stuff?" I think there was a lot of knocking people out with drugs. And I think there were men that were knocked out too, just to garner material to blackmail them. I think
Ah,
Well,
that was part of it too.
well,
hmm.
hold on. I'm glad you said that because I want to bring something else up about that. They talk a lot about the women that were assaulted, but I believe honestly that it wasn't just women. It
Oh
was
yeah.
Girls.
it was young boys too.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
no question.
And I really think that those people are being held back intentionally because you know that's even going to be more damaging when MAGA sees that.
Well, think about how often they crash grinder. You better believe there's young boys in
Right.
that thing.
Well, and I think that when you're dealing with Trumplafucks, rednecks, stupid motherfuckers, or these wealthy guys, uh, they aren't quite as ashamed of having relations with underage girls,
Right.
14, 15 years old. They're sitting there going, "What's wrong with that?" But they're terrified of it coming out that there were young boys involved. That may have a bigger effect on public opinion amongst the dumb fucks than the fact that they're women. I mean, you're telling somebody in Alabama that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were having relations with 14-year-old girls?
They're
That's
like,
fucking
brother.
Yeah,
Saturday
they're
to them.
that's yeah, that's Saturday night. But I mean, let's be real though. It's reported that Peter Thiel has gone to the island. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If Peter Thiel went to the island, he wasn't interested in young girls.
No, he was
No,
not. No.
no,
Um,
no. And Kevin Spacey was there. He wasn't
mhm.
Right?
interested in young girls.
Hell
No, he
no.
wasn't. It was young boys. Yeah, it was a flavor match, right? Whatever your flavor is, we can get that. That's what her job was, and these other guys' job were to go out and get this stuff. Why do you think it was so much money involved, right? It was a definite pay to play, and I hate to put it that way, but that's what it was.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, and I don't know that it was. I think blackmail was an accessory to this whole thing, because I think there are wealthy people that wanted certain things and were more than happy to pay for it, and I think that they took videos and pictures just in case those motherfuckers crossed them or
Mhm.
were going to spill on them. It was a way to, it was a way to keep their mouths shut. If some, if they get hauled in for something, and they say, "Well, I'll give you all of Jeffrey Epstein." Yeah, you better not, because Jeffrey's got
That
videos.
is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there was cameras all over that fucking place.
And the
So
watches. Did you see the video about the watches? So he has a drawer, and in that drawer, it was about 15 to 20 different watches. And if you look at those videos, every person in there is wearing one of those big ass watches. And he had like a listening device inside the drawer. So it was almost like those watches were bugged so he could hear what everybody was saying when they get away from him. Like
right.
this
Yeah.
thing is elaborate. You know what I mean? It's insane what these guys were doing on that island. And they asked Jeffrey, uh, do you consider yourself the devil? And he sits back and he smirks and he's like, nah, I'm afraid of the devil. I'm not scared of me. Like, Jesus
Right.
Christ.
And the interesting about all of it is that, and this has been talked about before, is that Epstein's home was raided by the FBI. But in advance of that, everything disappeared. The cameras,
Wow.
the surveillance system, recorder, everything was gone. Just gone. It just disappeared. But somebody has it. And I'm willing to bet that the person that has it is incarcerated in Texas right now.
Oh,
And
I'm
Yeah,
it's
sure.
probably.
and it's in a safe deposit box in some bank somewhere.
Well, did
Right?
you hear her drop those 28? She dropped 28 names last week in a deposition, and she was basically telling Donald, hey, don't forget about these. Now there's
Right.
more, but these are the ones we're going to start with. These are the bottom feeders.
Well,
Now, if you don't give me what I want, we're going to raise them stakes a
yeah,
little bit.
she's absolutely blackmailing him because
Hmm.
why else? They broke protocol and rules of the Department of Corrections, right? They broke the rules. In no way should she be allowed to be in that minimum security prison,
Nope.
just based upon the crimes she committed. Why does she get preferential treatment if she's the most horrific sex trafficker, well, the second most horrific sex trafficker in American history? Why?
Yeah.
Well,
No
she
one
gets a,
can answer that question.
she gets a puppy, right? She has a
Yeah,
new
she
new
gets
dog,
puppies and
and they cook her whatever she wants. And
yeah,
if anybody complains about it, they send them to the prison where she came from.
right.
Yeah.
They're silenced. Absolutely.
Well, I think Donald Trump, whether he realizes it or not, because he is delusional, I think he's under some immense pressure. When you're a narcissist and a criminal like he is, and people start coming out saying, "We're going to expose you. We're going to fucking do this. You do this to me, we're going to expose you." Ghislaine Maxwell is without question doing that. But I think where people forget is all these wealthy men like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or anybody else that has a lot of money, they have as much invested to not releasing these files as Donald Trump does. Donald Trump's just stupid and delusional, but we've got a lot of fucking wealthy guys that are pretty smart that are probably applying pressure to Donald Trump. Pam Bondi, the DOJ, do not release this because Donald Trump is already tied to this thing and he'll get destroyed. But these other motherfuckers that own Amazon and
Right.
Microsoft and stuff, they don't want this shit coming out as it is. Bill Gates got exposed
Sure.
Yeah.
and he's got a lot of cleaning up to do. And it's going to be hard for him to clean up because his wife divorced him for this very fucking reason.
Yeah,
Right.
she allegedly gave her an STD, and then I saw somewhere today that since his name came out, he's lost over 400 billion. I don't know if that's true or not, but they said that it just dropped the second they
Yeah.
found out he was in that Epstein file.
Well, here's the smoking gun on the Maxwell Blackwell or blackmail thing. Right. Here's the smoking gun about it. Is that when Todd Blanche went to meet with Maxwell, the U.S. prosecutor was supposed to be there in person at that
Yes.
interview, and they kicked. I think they fired her. I don't either. She resigned or they fired her. I can't remember what happened, but the U.S. prosecutor was not present during that meeting, so it was basically unlawful, right?
Exactly.
So that's where the demand list came in. And then all of a sudden, shortly thereafter, she gets transferred to the puppy palace, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's a
remember,
smoking gun about the blackmail right there. Everybody, like, you have to be delusional not to think that that's what happened.
remember who the prosecutor was. It was James Comey's daughter.
Hmm.
Right. Oh, yeah, right. Right,
Yes.
right.
James Comey's daughter. Now, James Comey's daughter was the prosecutor with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Guess who knows fucking everything?
His daughter.
That woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know that she can come out and say anything, but if she ever does, that's going to be fucking damaging.
You
I'm
know
sure
what?
she's under threat of death at this point.
Boomer,
Sure.
that is the shit right there. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So she knows it. You say it all the time, TJ. Yeah, they can try to erase or say blah blah blah, but somebody out there has a copy of it, and I guarantee you she does. If she prosecuted those two, she's got all
Yeah.
of them.
She's got all the evidence. She's seen all the evidence. You really want to know what's going on? Put her on the stand. Put her in front of Congress, but they won't fucking do it, I guarantee you. And
No.
maybe she can't because of her position and because of privilege or whatever. Maybe she can't say it, or maybe she's like James Comey and is going to say, I'm going to stay out of it because I don't, I have respect for the law and all this shit. But the bottom line is there are people that know about this stuff. It's not just James Comey's daughter. There's everybody that worked for her.
Mhm.
Everybody that worked
Oh
for
yeah,
her.
Well, I would
Um,
just like to say, if she's listening right now, flash drives show up at the New York Times all the time. So
exactly.
yeah.
I was thinking unless she leaks it.
I
Hey,
just want to throw
catch a
that out there.
hey TJ, catch a ferry boat, seat number 7, look behind it, and in a brown
Well,
Right.
envelope.
Yeah, there's a
I,
yellow envelope under seat
and
7.
I and I've said before. I think this is how this all blows up. Donald Trump is going to keep trying to hide this. They're going to play these fucking games. They're going to dance around it and stuff. But there's going to be somebody in the DOJ that's just, rank and file people that are trying to get their pensions and do their 30 years, whether it be in the DOJ or the FBI or in Congress, who people who've already seen this, or even the victims themselves. Um, Somebody's going to get tired of the bullshit and something's going to slip out. And like I've said before, with regards to Donald Trump, and I think that's the first one they got to take out. If you take out Donald Trump, everything else will come rushing out. All we need is one picture, one video
That's right.
Right.
to show that he was involved in some compromising position. Now, of course, you'll say it's AI and all that stuff, but nobody will believe that.
No.
Uh, so we need one person to leak one thing out, and then the dam breaks.
Well, you can always go to Grunk because they trust Grunk, right? Grunk, is
Sure.
is this
That's their
true?
yeah. That's their
And if it
go-to.
says yes, they're fucked.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Mike Johnson lately?
No, I have not.
Oh,
He doesn't look too good. He looks
he
like
looks like his sphincter is tighter than usual.
yeah. He looks
Just
like
saying.
he's right in front of a bus before it runs him over.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Well, we're in a shutdown right now, at least a
Yeah.
partial shutdown,
Yeah.
and there were plans to get this all squared away and all this stuff. And apparently, the Democrats are saying we want to do this, and it sounds like the Republicans have agreed to put body cams on all these people. But the
Yes.
Democrats are also saying take off your mask, and the Republicans are pushing back hard against that. Um, and somebody else said if you make them take off the mask, they wouldn't be surprised if 80% of them just fucking quit.
Well, let him quit.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know what?
It's
I
all the
saw a
Proud
video.
Boys anyway.
Yeah, I saw a
Yeah.
It's the
video
Proud Boys
yesterday.
and the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers. So let them
Let him go. Let him go
let them
back to the
go. Fuck
fucking
them.
Joe Bar and cousin marriage or whatever the fuck. I
Yeah.
saw a video.
Enrique Terrio can't hide himself anymore. Boo fucking who?
Yeah, a little boy, no more. I don't know, between 13 and 17 years old. They're chasing him around a police car. He grabs the door, and then he's like, "Fuck it, all right, I'm done." And he put his hands up and they walked toward him, and the cop just hit him right, cracked him right on his head with his butt of his gun. And I'm
Right.
thinking to myself, what the fuck is this all about? I mean, yeah, I get it. Here's my thing. Everybody says you're anti-police. I am not.
No.
But here's my thing. If Trucker T goes out and does something heinous, or if Trucker T goes into, let's just say, I don't know, Family Dollar and steal about $800 worth of shit, just take me to jail and let me go before the judge. I don't need you to whoop my ass before I get there, or even worse, right? Just put your job is to put the cuffs on and let me see my day in court. And if I'm guilty of that stuff, then lock my ass up. That's all I'm asking for.
Right,
Not that
trucker. You're a black guy. They're gonna whoop your ass no
they're
matter
gonna whoop
what.
my ass, and that's why I'm asking for. Hey, I don't need the George Floyd treatment. Just fucking put the cuffs on, right?
Right.
You don't have to even give me the burger like Dylan Roof. I don't even want your fucking hamburger. Just let me get to the court. You know what I'm saying? Because the
Yeah.
judge might see it my way and be like, "All right, get on out of here, young man." That's
Well,
all we asking for.
the thing about it is that I wouldn't say I'm anti-police, but I'm anti-police that don't follow the Constitution,
And that's
and
what.
there's more of them than you would expect. I mean,
Yep.
when we got this whole thing in Minneapolis going on, Minneapolis police don't have the best reputation. I mean, from the
Right.
time I was a little kid, in junior high school, they were known as the Goon Squad because they would take a kid. They didn't give a fuck if he was black or white. They'd
Right.
beat the shit out of him as opposed to take him in. So this
Right.
is a common trend with police forces. Not all, of course. There are some good police officers. I've known police officers that were good guys, and I've known police officers that were just fucked up and corrupt and all this shit.
Right.
We're dealing with a mentality in police forces that is a little more restrained than what ICE is. Basically, what they've done with ICE, they've taken police people with a police mentality and say you can do whatever the fuck you want, and
Right.
that's why we're having the problem with ICE.
Well,
Well,
ICE
here's
makes me respect police a lot more because they are more subdued than this fucking ICE bullshit.
right. Well, let's talk about that for a second because I have friends that are police officers, and maybe we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and it's okay. That's fine,
Right.
But the ones that I know, I respect them. I don't think that they're corrupt. But here's the thing, and I sent this story to Mike, and I sent it to Ed actually too. Is that story about the woman in St. Peter, Minnesota, that was following the ICE agents,
Right.
and they stopped their car in the middle of the road, pulled their guns, and pointed them at her,
Yep.
and
On
dragged her
camera.
ass out of the car and arrested her for no fucking reason, short of her driving behind them lawfully, not instigating anything, not she was just driving behind them, seeing where they're going, right?
I thought she was a
Right.
veteran also.
She may have been, but
Yeah.
ultimately what happened is, and I might not have this totally right, but her husband showed up as she's getting arrested. He calls the police chief in the town. The police chief calls the supervisor at ICE, or somehow they must have exchanged information because of obviously the situation that's going on prior to what happened. And so he calls that ICE agent and says, "Hey, you gotta let this woman go. What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
Right? So he stood up to them and said, "Hey, you can't do this." Right? And they turned around and delivered her back to her vehicle. Now,
Right.
that's what good policing should be. Right? That's what police forces in this country should be doing. And I don't think it's absurd or a problem or an over expense to, if you need to put extra police officers on the street on overtime in these cities that are being targeted to oversee what's happening, and when there's a civil rights violation or a violation of the Constitution, or a crime committed, the police should intervene and say, "This is, you can't do this."
Exactly.
They should, but I got to be honest with you. When Renee Good was shot, there were Minneapolis police officers there. The
Yep.
guy who did the shooting from the side, out of danger, did the shooting, walked away under his own power, got in the car, and took off. And the Minneapolis police didn't do fuck all because they're federal
Right.
agents.
So how the
That's
fuck does that
bullshit.
happen, Mike?
But how much how much
No
how
one's above the
much
law. They keep telling us.
how much murder and assault and crime can happen before these people start to say, hey, this is not right. These
Well, there's
police
a
officers.
hospital in Hennepin. It's starting to stand up now because so far two guys have come in there with handcuffs and supposedly ran themselves into a wall head first.
Yeah. This guy's
Yeah.
the guy's skull is busted and his face is busted and he ran himself into a wall. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna win the Powerball fucking tomorrow, right?
You probably would, you lucky bastard.
That's beside the point.
Yeah. Every day, TJ sends me a text where he says, "I won something again.
Yes.
You've won rifles. You've won money. I don't know what it is that causes you to keep winning. It sounds a little sketchy. I'll be honest with you.
Trucker says it's rigged. That's not true though. It's not rigged.
I'm just saying.
Uh,
I
well,
might
I
believe
mean,
the horseshoe up his ass. I might believe that.
The horseshoe is that's the real story right there. That's the bottom line. I got a horseshoe. It's stuck in my ass right now. That's all.
well, I guess it all started. The run of luck all started when Rebecca consented to date you, let alone marry you. I don't know what the fuck was. She a drinker then? Because she probably would have had to have been.
Scotch.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, Scotch.
But you know what? She's still here.
Ah, touche.
Yeah,
Let's talk
true.
about Indiana, Mike, real quick.
Okay,
So, Indiana, Governor
where
Mike
you're
Brown,
at.
yeah, where I'm at. Governor Mike Brown wants to beat Trump so bad that this little dickhead came out today with a revisionist law that he says, well, we had to pass a new bill, HR something something A, where now it gives me sole authority to not give any cities in the state of Indiana money who I deem sanctuary cities, right? That's for one. If they're harboring ICE, and then two, um, we're going to give a tip line, right? Here comes the good part. We're going to give a tip line to everybody in the state of Indiana. If you see illegal alien or you know he or her is an illegal alien, you call, especially at the workplace. Now, we're going to inside that law, we're going to make sure that the whistleblowers are protected. So when you call us, your job can't fire you, and we're also going to make it illegal for your job to hire them. You know what I mean?
What?
This guy is losing his shit.
Well, based on the gerrymandering issues in Indiana, the way it went, it doesn't sound like me that the people of Indiana are going to cotton to this kind of concept.
We
You
don't care. That's the thing. These guys are our neighbors. They're our barbers, our landscapers, right? Nobody's gonna like if you go to Goshen, Indiana, all Hispanic. South Bend on the west side. We call it Little Mexico, right? Do you think I'm gonna go over there and be like, oh, there's one, two, three? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Yeah, but
And
the problem with that is the Trump fucks will do that.
well, absolutely. But here's the thing: the Trumpler fucks also implore these guys, for half on a dollar. You know what I'm saying?
I,
So
I
now you're taking my labor away, which is
I agree
bullshit.
with you, but there's some of them that don't care.
Oh no, I get that. I get that, and that's bad, and that's why he's enacting this law. You know what I mean? And he also now here's part deux. Um, he wants to, how can I put this? Have his own militarized police force like ICE.
What?
Yes, he just came up with that bullshit last week, where he can send them out to any city, right, whenever he wants. Come on, man.
Now, is this the governor of Indiana?
Yeah, Mike Braun,
Oh wow, when's he up
fucking
for
piece of.
reelection?
He just got in. He was a
Oh,
Oh fuck.
senator or congressman last term, so they just elected him now. So if you get a chance, keep your eye on this fucker because uh, he's busy writing up shit.
See, what I don't understand is if you are self-aware and aware of what's going on, can't you see that Donald Trump is dying on the vine? He's hanging off the edge of the cliff. He
right.
is going to take a big shit. It's going to be a big pile of steaming shit in the final crash. And these fuckers that are trying to support or emulate him are just going to go with him.
Exactly.
when Donald Trump fails and this guy keeps spewing this shit, people are going to go, fuck that.
You
This
know
guy
who
will be
came
the
out of his
weakest
rock
governor in the
today?
country.
Who
What's
crawled
that?
out of his rock? You know who crawled out of the rocks today? Carl
Oh,
Rogue. Remember him?
Karl Rove?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's back with the Republicans back in the Clinton days or something.
exactly. Yeah, he
Bush.
loves Republicans, but he came out today all over Trump's economy, all over Trump's numbers, saying how they are, you know, not going in the right direction, you know, toward midterms. I would never expect for him to come out, but he's on Fox News today, just blasting the Republicans and Donald Trump. So you're exactly right, Mike. This shit is falling apart.
It's fallen apart, and there are Republicans that are speaking up about it because they understand. We understood this a year ago,
Mhm.
but if they keep doing what they're doing, it's they're going to get destroyed in the midterms. And people say, well, they'll steal the election. Okay, tell me why they didn't steal the election in Texas, where
Right.
this guy wins in a
Yep.
district that voted for Donald Trump by 17% less than a year ago, and he wins by 14%. That's a 31% switch. That's
Right.
pretty dramatic. That should be a red flag to Republicans going, fucking A. And they even lost a seat to the Democrats in the legislature.
Hmm.
People aren't having this shit.
And I think a lot of the fear, a lot of fear that is driven right now is driven by, they're, oh, they're gonna interfere with the election. There's not going to be the midterms. That's absolute bullshit.
That's bullshit.
It is.
People keep saying this to me, and they're like, Trump's gonna cancel the midterms. He can't cancel the midterm elections. He can't do it. And they're like, yes, he can.
No, he
He's
can't.
done this, this thing and this. And I'm like, the elections for all of these seats in Congress, the Senate, everything, it's run by the states. He can't
Right.
stop that.
No.
Even if he declares martial law, it doesn't mean fucking anything. Because they
No.
had elections during the Civil War, for fuck's sake, right?
Right.
And we're nowhere in that kind of condition, right?
No.
So all this fear mongering, it needs to stop. Like, and I get kind of pissed off at like some of the creators on TikTok that are doing that stuff. And I see a couple of them. I'm not going to say their names, but Trucker
Right.
knows who I mean.
I know. Yeah. It's,
There's some creators on there that are doing that to fear monger, and it's bullshit. We're going to
well,
have midterm elections,
Yep.
and Donald Trump can't do a fucking thing about it. And just based upon what we've seen in the previous off-cycle election in November up till today, what happened in Texas a couple days ago, they're going to get absolutely fucking slaughtered in the midterm
the
election.
midterm. Yep.
Let me ask you this though. People are going to say, well, what about Georgia? What about them going in and going through the voter rolls and doing all that shit? Does that make you nervous?
No.
No,
Well,
no, it doesn't make me nervous.
it
And I'll
doesn't
tell
make
you
me
why.
nervous.
So
but-
fucking what? So
Right.
fucking what if they got the information? What are they going to do with it? They can't force Georgia, the Georgia election committee to change anything. What the fuck does that even mean?
Didn't they have 2 trials already?
Yeah, they can't force Georgia to change fucking fuck all about what they're doing. So they can go in there and try to strong arm, whoever the Secretary of State is there. I don't think it's Raffensperger anymore, but they can go in and strong arm him and get this information. But so what? What's that mean?
Well,
Let me
Well,
ask you
what
this,
they're-
TJ. Oh, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
no, all I was going to say is what they're doing isn't trying to game the system. They're trying to learn as much as they can so they can come up with some bullshit to question the election. Well, we saw
Yeah.
this and we saw this, and we know how well questioning the election has gone for them. So, they will always fuck it up. They will,
Right.
Donald Trump has no plans. He just does stuff to stir shit up and create chaos. But every time he does, he fucks up. Hide the Epstein files, perfect example.
Well, just remember, the last time they questioned the election, they lost 60 lawsuits. So what's that
Right.
tell you?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's my whole point about this, right? So this was the biggest thing that ever hit the market, right? The 2020 election was rigged, and Georgia. I need you to find me, blah blah blah. That shit got him fucking impeached. They had 2 trials, not for the impeachment. I'm talking about over the voting systems, right?
Right.
2 trials, clean as a whistle. This motherfucker cannot come back in here now and say, "Uh oh, look what I found." And then the second piece to that is they took over 700 boxes. And then today, this jackass says, "Oh, I got a big announcement coming about the files, and you guys are going to love it." Duh, 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 duh. The fuck out of here.
Right. Well,
Nobody's going to believe anything he says because he flat out lies. He can go in and grab this shit, but he'll come up with some crazy bullshit to try to substantiate what he's saying. And it's so ridiculous, nobody's going to believe it. Here's what I got to say. If you want to know how fucking incompetent Donald Trump is, Donald Trump is worried about the 2020 election because he lost and he wants to redeem himself, but he's not thinking about the midterms where he's going to fucking lose big.
right.
That's
Right.
how stupid he is.
Well,
Fucking.
and I honestly believe that all of this is performative, right?
It is.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's just a performance to appease Donald Trump. They're throwing this little fucking snack out to Donald Trump and saying, "Hey, Donnie, we're doing this. We're investigating it," because he's such a dumbass that he thinks that that's actually going to do something, right? It's gonna, like Mike said, it's gonna change the perception of what happened in 2020 because he got his ass kicked, right?
Right.
So, so all of it's performative. They went in and executed these warrants. It's not going to fucking mean anything. It's a bunch of bullshit. Nothing's going to happen with whatever whatever it is, excuse me, that they seized. It's all a fucking show. It's all for fucking clips. It's all for fucking Fox News to get their mainstream fucking clips on the news. Nothing's going to come of it. It's all a bunch of bullshit. And it's a distraction again from the Epstein files, from everything Donald Trump's fucking up. That's all it is a distraction.
Well, speaking of distraction, I don't think he's running the country. Well, I know he's not running the country. They've got him doing construction projects. They've got him down to nothing more than a general fucking manager. You know what I mean? Like, you go with the
And he's not good at that.
he's not. Now he's going to redo the Kennedy Center because it's run down. No, because you ran it down, you fat piece of shit. He put
Nobody
marble.
nobody
Nobody wants to
wants
come
to
there.
go there. Nobody
Right.
wants to go there and buy tickets. Nobody wants to perform there. Now he looks stupid, so he's got to cover that up. Oh, I'm
Gotta
just going to
cover it.
redo it for 2
Yeah,
years.
you know.
You go ahead and redo it. How's the ballroom coming along? It's over budget. He's pissed off an architect because he probably hasn't paid him. I mean, people get scared.
Oh,
Donald Trump says, "I'm going to do this," and they believe he's going to do this. Let me remind you, he was going to prosecute Joe Biden. He was going to prosecute James Comer. He failed to indict Letitia James 3 times. He talks a lot of shit, but if you believe him, you're just buying into the bullshit. He fails constantly.
Right.
hey, Mike, get this. I'm glad you said he doesn't pay because I saw an article today that says ICE agents are going over to Reddit because a lot of people don't go there
Yeah.
and they're putting out their grievances. And the biggest grievance is that they're not getting paid and they still don't have insurance, but they're being forced to fucking work because they keep telling them it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And somebody said you'll get your paycheck on the 32nd of the month.
Well, but let's be real let's be real for a second about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has never paid any. I mean, I don't want to say he's never paid anyone, but he's historically has ripped off everyone. He's ripped
Exactly.
off the contractors that have worked for him. He's ripped off the architects, the engineers. He's put companies out of business. He put blue collar working class tradesmen on the street because of the shit that he did without paying the companies. He's
Right.
done that for 40 years. He's done that,
I
right?
know one
I've
company he does pay. That's McDonald's.
Well,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, let's
But
keep him going on that one.
I've been in business for myself, and I've had to deal with people, and there are people that are sketchy that are known for not paying their bills, and
hmm
I don't deal with them. How
Right.
Right,
stupid do you have to be, knowing Donald Trump? If Donald Trump says to you, "Listen, I need something, or I need you to do something, and don't
Nope.
worry about it. I'm going to pay you handsomely down the road. I'm going to pay you." How stupid do you have to be to accept that? I mean,
right.
you deserve what you get in that case because you know Donald Trump's going to fuck you because he fucks everybody from kids to fucking vendors.
Right.
Like Wimpy, where he says, "I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger
Hamburger
today."
today. Yeah,
Right.
100%.
That's pretty much it. I mean, how many times do you have to be ripped off by Donald Trump to continue to believe it?
Just one time, just
For
once.
for normal people, but if
Yeah.
you're in the cult, it's every fucking day.
Well, they call him Daddy now, Mike. What the fuck is that all about?
There are people still waiting for their gold phones.
And he
Right?
shits himself every day. Did you see the video with the lady in the back in the green where
She's
she
like
just,
this.
yeah, fucking shit herself, and they scurried everybody out of the room because it
Oh,
was
yeah.
disgusting. Fucking assholes.
He blew out that diaper and they rushed everybody out of the room as fast as they could because they knew the stench was fucking coming,
I
which is
my wife
hilarious.
my wife and I spent some time with our 8-month-old grandchild yesterday, and I'm watching him, and he's gabbing away. You can't understand a fucking word he says because
Right.
he's 8 months
Right.
old, and he blows out his diaper frequently, and I'm thinking this motherfucker could be president
Right.
because it's just the same shit.
It's the same
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Unintelligible talk and then blow out the diaper. That squares with what's going on.
I bet you Wet Wipes, that's the code name for the guy who cleans Donald Trump, had a real busy day that day.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure he did.
I,
Ew.
I, I always tell the story. I try to tell my daughter-in-law this. She's going to have this cute little baby, and he's going to be quiet and calm, and he's going to do all the right things and stuff because she's a first-time mom. And I said, "What's his last name?" She goes, "Same as yours." I go, "Yeah." I said, "There's going to come a time when your kid is in that crib, your sweet little baby's going to be in that crib, holding the top of the crib, shaking it back and forth. And then when you go see him, he's going to be in his cute little onesie, and there's going to be poop stains from his chest down to his knees. And the only option you have is to put him in a tub and throw away the clothes." She
And the
goes,
crib.
"Oh, that's
And the crib.
that's not going to happen." I go, "You
Okay.
wait. I've
Just
been
wait.
there, man.
Right.
I've seen it.
Sure.
You're not gonna. It's not gonna be sweet and innocent and hold him in your arms and sing him to sleep. He's got my last name. He's gonna be a fucking terror. He's
I
gonna be
remember
up
those
in
days.
everybody's shit.
I remember those days. Hey, there's two things I want to touch on. I know before you go on.
We
The
got
biggest thing
time.
the biggest thing is that Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
was
guys
just going to
think
Yeah.
is
bring
in
that
that?
up.
What the fuck do you think is in that safe?
Well, just
I
so
don't know.
people understand, know what the story is, came out yesterday that, and I say yesterday because you're listening to this on Tuesday, um, but apparently there is a whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard. Now that's not a big surprise because we know she's a Russian asset. Hillary Clinton told us that, but there's a complaint about her, and this complaint is so bad that uh, the national security of this country could be at risk if it was known. So they took this complaint and put it in a vault like a few months ago. What they're supposed to do is give it to the Congress and they're supposed to deal with this shit. Here's the worst part of it. This whistleblower complaint, whether it's real or not real, that's something Congress or the IG was going to have to figure out, but they can't because it's in a vault someplace and they're hiding it, hoping it will go away. But the biggest problem I have, if this complaint is out there, Tulsi Gabbard is still head of U.S. intelligence.
Yes.
She's showing up at the election headquarters in Fulton County, Georgia, which makes no sense because that's not her purview. My
Right.
point is, what this complaint was so important of national security, they're trying to hide it. And if it's about Tulsi Gabbard, she's still in charge of our national intelligence and she's
Right.
still in the fucking job. At least put her on the sidelines until you figure it out. But
Right.
they're not even doing that.
And it'll be interesting if we ever find out. But here's a few things that we can kind of deduce for sure is that she always parrots Russian narratives, especially about Ukraine and other things. She parrots their narratives all the time. The second thing is that Russian state media praises Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything you need to fucking know,
Hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
She's compromised, and whatever this is, it's. I can't believe that they're keeping this under lock and key when it may be an imminent threat to the safety of our citizens in this country. That
Well,
in itself needs investigated.
they
Well, the
say they've
problem
had it
here,
since May.
yeah, the problem here is that if she's a Russian asset and she's compromised with Russia, Donald Trump is too, so he doesn't give a fuck. He's cool with it.
Right, but you would think that if we're hearing about this, people in Congress should know about it. And that's where the problem is. Why aren't they demanding to see whatever this is?
Well, I don't
Good
think
point.
they knew TJ until today. Adam Kinzinger, I think his name is. He was
Kinzinger, yeah.
like,
Yeah, but
what?
he's not in Congress anymore either.
I know, but what I'm saying is everybody's finding this shit out today. It was one of those reports that somebody dug in and dug in. So I'm pretty sure it's going to hit.
Well, I think it'll be revealed at some point, but it may not be until Donald Trump is gone. I mean, this can only make Donald Trump look bad and make him question his administration. And we know what Donald Trump does that. He's the king of the cover ups. Him and Pam Bondi, they cover everything up.
Well, I think it depends on how bad it is.
Right.
Because there's some things that we're just never going to hear about because of how sensitive, top secret they are or whatever. We may never hear about it. But if there's been impropriety, they won't tell us what it is, but they'll at least hopefully chase it down and, prosecute her or whatever it is that they need to do
Exactly.
to handle the situation.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I agree with that.
that's my point. This information has been available since May. We're talking what, 8, 9 months
Yep.
since May, and it's been put in a vault and just not talking about it. And all the while, this potential risk, Tulsi Gabbard, has still got a lot of power in terms of intelligence,
Right.
meaning she can give us bad intelligence or she can make sure that Russia or whoever gets this information that they shouldn't have. This is what I've said, based on what happened with Hegseth and Mike Waltz, and it's as if this country has no more national security. There is no security, and I'm amazed something bad hasn't already happened.
Hey,
Right.
I thought of something, and let me hear what you guys think about this. Remember that story not too long ago, maybe it was 3 weeks ago, about how France and maybe another country in the European Union
Hmm.
passed bad intel to the United States, and then the whole point of the exercise was to see if it got back to Russia, and it did.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's not connected to what is, in that safe.
That would make sense. I mean,
Right?
what happened was Ukraine was concerned that some of the information was going to Russia when it went through the United States. So
Right.
Ukraine teamed up with France. France provided intel to the United States, presumably Tulsi Gabbard or whoever else. Just they wanted to test it to see if it got back to Russia. It was false information, and it did get back to Russia. And that makes sense that that may be the issue because it's all coming out at the same time. Why
Hmm.
have we not heard about Tulsi Gabbard since May, and now it's
Right.
coming out? So that makes sense that it
Yeah,
probably is tied together somehow.
that's what I think.
Remember, I used to ask the question on our lives, and I would always ask, "Where's Tulsi Gabbard?" Haven't heard anything from her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now all of a sudden, boom, she's front lines. Giving the FBI guys in the field the phone to talk to the president as they're stealing ballots out of Georgia. That doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm an
Well,
FBI agent. I don't talk to the president.
and why would Tulsi Gabbard be there anyway? This has nothing to do with her job as
Right.
far as elections or what's going on in an individual state. And she's there, and the video I saw of her, she's like skulking around corners and shit. They didn't want people to know she was there, yet she was there. That whole situation just seems very sketchy.
Yeah, that's shady for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't get that. And then the second thing I was going to talk about. So all day today, he's been out talking about, well, we need to, the Republicans needs to nationalize the elections, right? Have you heard that one yet?
Yeah,
I
I
have.
agree.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck is that all about? I mean, he keeps throwing these stones out there, trying to get people's minds and shit going. And it kind of goes back to what you were talking about before. All the fear mongering. Well, now Donald Trump said he's going to nationalize the election. Well, he's not. He says jokingly, the Republicans ought to nationalize the election. Ha ha ha. That's his dog whistle for them to figure out how to manipulate these elections so his dumbass don't go to jail.
Well, he throws out test balloons and he's terrified of the midterms because he knows if what happens with the midterms goes the way we expect and he loses the House and the Senate, the final 2 years of his term are going to be absolute hell. It's going to
Mhm.
be investigation, exposing shit. He's going to get impeached. He might even get removed. 2 years. It's not going to be fun for Donald Trump to be president of the United States. I mean, there's so many things that need to be investigated. Let me throw one other thing out there. This just came out too. It was exposed that prior to being inaugurated, he had somebody called, they refer to him as the spy sheik from the United Arab Emirates. Donald Trump had this crypto bullshit that he was dealing with.
Right.
This spy sheik invested $500 million into that crypto,
Yeah.
giving him 49% of Trump's company before he was inaugurated. And then after he was inaugurated, the United Arab Emirates got a lot of favors for getting information and technology for AI and some other shit. I
Of
mean, if
course.
that doesn't sound sketchy as fuck, I
Of
don't know
course.
what does.
Yeah, they got advanced microchips that they shouldn't have got. And
Well,
Right.
it's
yeah,
not unheard of. It's not unheard of for us to give Israel F-35s and some of our more advanced weapons, but that seems a little strange to me that you would give a country that's not really an ally. I mean, they're not really an ally. They're give them our top information about AI chips. Like that seems like not a good idea to do. I mean,
well, they're allies with Kushner. That's the thing.
Yeah.
well, yeah, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
He gave him 2 billion.
over and above the AI and the microchips and all that stuff, it's a little troubling that somebody from a foreign country becomes an investor, a major investor in a company owned by Donald Trump, the
Right.
president elect. That's shady as fuck. And then some favor is given after the fact. I mean, this is how Donald Trump, this is what he thinks is transparency. He always talks about transparency, yet we've never seen his taxes, never seen his health
Nope.
information, haven't seen the Epstein files. His part of transparency is this: I'm going to commit crimes in front of your face.
Yep.
So it's okay, and I'm being transparent. I'm fucking you over, but I'm doing it in front of your face, so it's all
But you know
good.
about
Yeah.
it.
Well, hold on. We got Donald Trump's taxes, but not from him.
Not from him.
Yeah.
Wall Street
And now
Journal.
he's going to sue the IRS for $10 billion.
So, what do
Okay.
you guys think those pictures were when the Saudis were there? Since we're talking about the Saudis, they were in the Oval Office, and the guy kept pulling pictures out of his suit coat jacket. He handed them to Trump, and he's looking at him, and Trump is not happy about whatever he's looking at. Then the other two guys were like smiling, and he kept giving him picture after picture after picture. And then Trump folded them up 4 ways and put it back in his jacket. So who
I
knows what
didn't
that
see
was all
that.
about?
I didn't see that. That's
Oh, you didn't?
interesting.
Well,
I'm gonna find it.
those probably got given to him from Putin. They're probably those golden shower pictures that Putin's been hanging on to. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
Don't you
find that
think
video and send it to you guys.
Don't you think there are other world leaders at this point that have finally realized that he's a buffoon, that he's a goof, and they're all fucking with him one way or another?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I
Well,
mean,
that's what they say.
he can't do much more to them other than the tariffs. So you might as and he's already done that, so fuck with him.
Right. Well, and that's what Prime Minister Carney's doing. He's just saying fuck them.
Pretty
I'll just
much.
stick it right up your ass.
Well, today, what was it? India? He says, "Well, I'll take the tariffs down from 25% to 18% since you're not going to buy as much oil from Russia now." Whatever. Just fuck this dude, man.
Well, when
Just
I
fuck
heard
this
that,
dude.
when I heard that he was cutting the tariffs down a little bit from India, I'm going, the fuck do I care? I mean, we don't know who has tariffs or doesn't have tariffs. And
Exactly.
we got some bigger issues in this country. We've got our own law enforcement people kidnapping children. We've got people killing American citizens in the fucking street. And that's what I wanted to bring up too. The Alex Preddy killing.
Yeah.
People were saying, well, they had masks on. We'll never know who they are. And I said, eventually we'll know who they are. They figured out a way to get Jonathan Ross with Renee Good. They'll find out. And of course, ProPublica came out with the names. And that's
Mhm.
what was intriguing about this. And I
Right.
don't mean to make this about race. It's just not about race. It's just ironic that here's a white man, a citizen of this country, a citizen of Minneapolis, shot in cold blood, totally illegally. And the two guys that did it were border agents. They weren't ICE, they were border agents. And one was Jesus Ochoa, and the
Hmm.
other one was Raimundo Gutierrez, two
Yes.
Hispanic people from working at the border. It just seems ironic that these white supremacists are now clapping for Hispanic people killing white people in America. It makes no fucking
Fucked.
sense.
Yeah, we're fucked. As a nation, we're fucked. Uh, yeah, I got no words for that.
You know, I've had Trumplefucks come to me and say, well, Renee Good got what she deserved because of this and this and this. And I said, well, I disagree with you that, but it sounds like we agree on one thing. When you've got somebody who's an insurrectionist, they deserve to get shot and killed. So let's just say
Yep.
Ashley Babbitt got exactly what she fucking deserved because
Oh
she is
no.
the essence of an insurrectionist. She was breaking into a building and she was told to stop. She broke in, she walked into the building and she got shot. What do you expect's going to fucking happen in that circumstance?
Go
Right.
get shot.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Hey, did you guys see? Just before, I know we're gonna probably close it out here, but did you guys see the Turning Point USA show for the Super Bowl? Did
I
you
heard
yes, I
happen to
about
did.
it.
see? Did you happen to see that?
I made a video about it on my TikTok.
I didn't see your video, unfortunately, but I did see the lineup, and I gotta tell you, I know who Kid Rock is,
Yours truly.
but the other motherfuckers that are on this thing, I never even heard any of them.
What
Like
happened
who?
to Laura?
Who?
Laura Trump, I think her name is.
Oh, I
She was supposed to be rapping and singing or some bullshit.
dude, auto tune isn't that good, bro. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
good. Trust me, I know, but
No,
it's not that good.
can't fix that. No.
And there's a lot of money that goes into makeup to make her look not like the troll that she is. But
Okay.
What I don't understand about that show is they talked about that show sometime back when it was announced that Bad Bunny was going to be and they can't have Bad Bunny. We need an American, even though he was born in fucking
Fucking
Puerto
idiots.
Rico.
yeah,
Right.
Uh, but but so they were going to put on this other show, and then they ended up stopping developing that because there was no interest. So now
right,
they're bringing it up again as we're, 5 days away from the Super Bowl. I tell you what, I don't know shit about Bunny. I don't know one of his songs,
Me
but I
either.
do like the guy because of I liked him in the movie with the Happy Madison movie.
Mhm.
I liked him in that. But did you see what he put out on Instagram?
No.
Just a picture of him wearing a hat, just like the little boy that was kidnapped off the streets of Minneapolis.
Oh,
As a
nice.
show,
little knit hat, yeah,
yeah, yeah, and you know, we should mention, of course, that he's back in Minnesota.
For now, because the Justice Department came out today and said we're going to appeal that decision.
Oh,
Low
good
life
for them.
motherfuckers.
Let's take a sick kid away and
Mhm.
deport him out of the country.
Yep, they're already appealing that. Dirty
Well,
bastards.
this is how stupid the Trump administration is. You got this picture of this 5-year-old kid. They take him into detention. he gets sick. Now, if you're smart and you're in the administration, I'm going to take that kid, get him out of that fucking prison as quickly as possible, and get him the
Mhm.
best health care possible. Because if
Right.
something happens to that kid,
It's
this
on me.
fucking country's going to fucking burn.
Yeah, it's gonna come unwound. Are you kidding me? If that little kid dies,
Something, yeah. And they keep trying to blame his father. His father says, no, 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 no. I did not leave my son. He said, I was walking ahead of him 2 steps. He says, 2 steps to warn everybody that ICE is here, and my son was following me. I get that. I walk in front of my son. He's trying to tell other people, hey, get out, get out, get out, get out. They grabbed this dude, and then the nation was captivized by the little bunny ears and the blue hat, and then now they want to appeal that decision. It's stupid.
yeah.
Let this one go.
Good fucking luck with that. I mean, let's.
I'd be
I
surprised
don't.
if I'd be surprised if they follow up with that appeal, or they expect they're going to win. Uh, it's what you said before. It's all performative.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't be wrong, so we've got to appeal it because we're right.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see him going back in prison. That would be
It's all for a
unfucking
Fox
believable.
News headline for their
Yep.
fucking idiotic base. That's all it is. I mean,
What's that
honest to
one
God,
guy, the big guy that does those shows? What would you do?
Oh yeah,
I don't know what his name is.
Quinones.
Yeah,
Yeah, Quinones. Quinones was sitting next to them on the plane, interviewing them on the way back. So there's no way they're going to go back. I mean, you know how bad of a look it would be for them to do that?
You know what's ironic is that leading up to this election, we kept hearing about Democrats and the pedophile cabal and how we only want to save the children. Now we've got it coming out that many of these people, including Donald Trump, were involved in the sexual abuse of kids. They kidnap a kid off the street who has every reason and every legal reason to be in this country. They put him in a detention camp. They get a court case and now they got to release him. But here's what you got to understand. There's at least 6 or 7 other kids in that same camp. It's
Mhm.
not just him.
Right.
But for people who complained about Democrats abusing children, they sure love to abuse children.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. This world is crazy.
It's a little crazy. I'm going to wrap up the Rational Boomer podcast. I want to thank you both for coming on. That made it more interesting.
Yes, sir.
Trucker T and TJ, Rebecca
Great to
around
meet you
there.
again.
How's
She's
Rebecca doing?
she's sleeping. She was tired, so she's not. She went to bed early, so
Okay.
but she's all right. She's still sad about the dog passing
Yeah.
away. So you know,
That's
Yeah, that's
TJ
tough.
and Rebecca lost a dog that they've had for many, many years, and I can relate because I've had dogs that I had to lose too, and they're part of the family, and it's difficult, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. You
right?
know, I I I believe there are some spirits out there, and whenever I'm in my car alone, I'm driving along, and I imagine 4 or 5 of my dogs uh, sitting in the car in spirit going, what the fuck are we going to do now? What the fuck are we going to do?
I
That's a
want
good
that
way.
ice cream.
Yeah,
The
that's a good way
biggest
to
and
think
dumbest
about it.
one, the biggest and dumbest one is probably sitting in the front seat. But um, yeah, give her our best, and
Yeah.
I will.
I can't even tell you what to do to deal with it because I don't know. It's because I've had to deal with it too.
It just takes time to heal your heart. That's all.
Yeah.
It does. It does. So thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it immensely. Those of you listening, thanks for taking the time. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.